And
Hey,
here we are.
everybody. We are live with today's episode of the Shit Talking Podcast. I'm Christina.
And I am Robin.
And this is the first time in our long history, our
Very
seventh
long.
episode,
Yeah.
that we don't really have a topic. And the reason for that is not as some of you may think, because we just want to talk about the election. That is not true.
Not really, actually.
We just really didn't know how we were going to feel. And we just didn't want to limit ourselves to a topic. And shit talking anyway, as Robin astutely mentioned yesterday, it's shit talking. You don't have to plan shit talking.
No, it shouldn't really be planned. And I think that we decided, look, I mean, let's not try to hide the obvious. We just had an election. It was yesterday. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I kind of said, well, do we have an episode about the election? Neither of us really wanted to do that. Like, we didn't want to talk politics. I'm not like politically focused, really. I'm not one of those people that I'm like super into politics. And we said, well, we don't want to. We can't ignore the fact that, our country's having an election and people are talking about the fact that this is like the freaking election of the century. So I don't think we ignore it, but I think we kind of just say, let's go with the flow, right? And just see what we want to talk about today.
Yeah. And I also want to preface this conversation with, it's probably going to become known who we support, although people could probably guess. But if you don't support our candidate, then, that's okay. We welcome everybody. And one thing that I really hate, which has saddened me so much during the past 4 years and before that, is people have been really just mean to each other if they have a difference in opinion about who the better candidate is. And I do not want to see any of that here. Just because I may support Biden doesn't mean I'm stupid or, any other names that I might be called, that I have been called. And at the same time, if somebody supports Trump, I disagree, but I'm not going to attack anybody for that. So that's something that we've all seen so much of over the past years. And it's really sad to see that. I can't remember in prior elections it being so bad. Have you?
No, I do not ever recall in prior elections, like, businesses being boarded up because they're afraid of what's going to happen with the outcome. And I think it really depends too, and I'm not going to really get into sides, but I think it depends on what side you're on, that you feel like that boarding up is for the other side. Like, I know in my mind, I'm like, that's because those crazy people, if they don't get what they want, they're just going to go crazy. And then the people that are on the other side are like, well, it's boarded up because if those crazy people don't get what they want, then they're going to go crazy. So it really is super divisive. And I don't think I have ever in my long time on this planet,
many years on this earth,
the many years, right? The political historian that I am, I don't ever remember things just being this nuts. Like, it's just nuts, and I agree with you that we shouldn't be so mean.
You said we just had an election. No, we're having an election.
Right. We know nothing. And I don't know. Well, what did you do? Were you like super into election footage? Were you all in it last night and like watching 3 different screens of televisions and like all of that? Like, are you that person?
I forget. I don't even remember what channel. I think I had NBC on last night, and it was interesting because it's been so close.
Yeah.
But I went to bed. I just got exhausted and I went to bed, and I actually it was looking to me like Trump was going to win, which I think everybody thought. And I was very surprised to get up this morning and see that wasn't the case. And it's sort of looking now like Biden's going to win. I was surprised by that.
Well, here's what's funny about me. I do feel like I am I'm not going to say entrenched, but like, I do think that I have a lot, like, I'm invested in this election for a lot of reasons. But I didn't watch a thing. I didn't turn on the news. Nothing. And I'm going to tell you why. And it's so funny. When I went to the office today, my partner was kind of like, what do you mean? And I guess I said it the wrong way, but I was kind of like, you know what? They're not going to know anything anyway. Um, Everybody is saying it's going to take days, weeks, perhaps even longer than that before we actually have an official winner. Why am I going to make myself sick watching TV? And trying to figure out, basically, the news reports are all like, hey, this is a news report to say we don't know anything. Okay, well, thank you. That's not really news. Like, you don't know anything. Got it. Like, but that's all it was. We still don't know. Still don't know. Still too close to call. Can't call it. I just didn't want to spend all night doing that. So I ordered some nachos and I watched Chopped.
Oh, I think you might have posted those on Facebook. They looked good. Did you? Or am I thinking of someone else's nacho?
I don't know, but it was a nacho kind of night, you know.
Yeah.
I went to El Chingon in Union. It's really, really good. If you guys know it, on Morris Avenue, but I recommend. Got some nachos and I sat and literally watched the Food Network all night. Maybe I had a glass of whiskey. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'm not committing.
Maybe you had a bottle of whiskey.
Maybe. But I watched no news coverage. And then I went to bed and I woke up and that was the first time I actually turned on news, was this morning. And I was kind of like, so the news is they don't know. Got it.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know. To me, it's like watching like watching a reality show, which is because, Trump's Apprentice. But it's just crazy the way it's just unfolding and how we don't know. And it's really funny how you can see who might be leading different states by what channel you're on.
That is true. Well, it's been like that for like, I think through this whole presidency, the optics of this presidency are really molded by what channel you're watching.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Right. If you're watching like left-leaning news, like if you're watching MSNBC, the whole thing's a shit show. If you're watching Fox News, like he is literally the best thing since sliced bread. So it really just depends on who you watch. And I don't necessarily subscribe to the fact that either one is right. You know what I mean? I think it's probably in the middle somewhere. I don't think it's in the middle. I think he's a shit show. I'm just going to throw it out there. But that's just what I think. Everybody's welcome to their opinions. But I do think that there is some sense of like, no matter what he does, like he could find a cure for cancer and MSNBC would be like, oh, that's stupid cancer. It's not real cancer. Like, I still don't think they would like it. That's just what it is. And the same thing that, he could go and strangle babies and then Fox News would be like, but those were bad babies. Like he should have been strangling them. It doesn't matter.
Well, actually, he said one time that he could murder somebody and he would still have supporters or, made some comment like that. They would still love me even if I murdered somebody.
Yeah. But I just couldn't make that my focus of last night. Like I'm just kind of, whatever the outcome's going to be, it's going to be.
Yeah, right? You'll find out when you find out. You didn't need to watch. It's like watching grass grow.
Right, like watching the turkey roast.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I love your sweatshirt that you have on, Karl Lagerfeld.
Yes. So I feel like this is like my let me shout out everything that's in my area. So I went to the Lord and Taylor in Westfield, which is closing. This is showing my age because I love freaking Lord and Taylor. Like I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think the young kids do, but like I go in there, I'm like, oh, I can get myself a smart suit to wear to, you know what I mean? Like I just love Lord and Taylor. And I love that it's a freestanding department store in Westfield. Like I do not have to go into the mall. It's just like, boom, a Lord and Taylor. And when I was growing up, we had a Lord and Taylor close to it was actually walkable to my house. It was in Millburn. I grew up in Maplewood and there was a Lord and Taylor, same thing, freestanding. So anyway, they're closing down, much to my chagrin. And I went in to shop the sales and I got this snazzy sweatshirt and they only had one and it was like an extra large. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to go all flash.
Yeah.
So I cut the top of it off and I was very excited about it.
I was going to say, I have to go now because I have to go to Lord and Taylor and see if they still have another left, but
they might, but it was like some places shouldn't have been. Like, I think I was in Coats and I just saw it hanging there and I was like, all right. So
a lot of stores are closing. What else? The Pier 1 closed? Just completely
this
closed,
all-
right?
Is this all COVID closings, or were
I
these just
think so.
stores like struggling?
I think because people just weren't shopping and they couldn't survive.
Well, you know what's odd about the Pier 1 though? I have heard, did you tell me this? Maybe you did. That if you went and tried to buy like a couch now, you cannot. If you wanted to buy a mattress now, like people are buying so many home goods during this like COVID period. Like you can't get a contractor to come in and do renovations. You can't get somebody to like come in and get you like a new mattress or a new couch. Like everything is on back order because people are just buying stuff.
I thought that was because they weren't allowed to manufacture them because nobody could work in the warehouses.
I think it's because people are just shopping because they're home and they have nothing else to do. But like I did renovations during COVID. Like I got like
That's
new
true.
floors. I did because you're home and you go, wow, my house is pretty crappy. And then all of a sudden you want to like
all the time.
because you're like, I'm not usually here like day in, day out. And I think just being here, I was like, it's kind of sucks. Like, I don't like this wall color and I don't like these floors and I don't like
you have more
couch.
time to sit around and say, I don't like there's changes I have to make around the house. I'm not digging this.
Right. Right. But you can't get anything. So I'm kind of surprised about the Pier 1, to be honest.
Yeah, and then I think I had heard Nordstrom was closing, but maybe they just filed bankruptcy. Or Neiman Marcus, did that close?
No, it was shoot. I don't think it was Neiman Marcus.
Barney's has closed, but I think that was even before.
I think that was imminent. I think it was coming. Like
Why?
I don't know. I've
What
never
about
shopped it.
Bergdorf? Is Bergdorf still around?
I don't think so.
Wow, those are all the places that Carrie used to shop at.
I know. And
Bradshaw.
I've never shopped at Barney's.
I did online.
I've had things in my cart. Like I've gone online and had things in my cart and I never like pulled the trigger. I don't know why. I think
I would wait for sales.
Because it was stuff I didn't really want. Like I just wanted to shop at Barney's. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had it in the cart and I'm like, oh, this is nice. But I just wanted to like shop at Barney's. Because there's something wrong with me, clearly. Like I
have to say, if I get the urge to shop and I really don't want to spend the money, if I just go to Neiman Marcus online or Bloomingdale's online, I'll just shop and put stuff on my wish list until I get bored with it. And then, it's past. Maybe I should do that with food. Maybe when I get the urge to eat something, I should just go on ShopRite.com and put stuff in my cart.
I have $248 worth of things in my ShopRite cart right now as we speak. And like I won't buy, and I know what's going to happen with the whole online shopping thing. Like I'm not going to buy the stuff at ShopRite online. I'm going to go to ShopRite and just get it. I know I am. I don't know who I'm fooling with this ShopRite cart that I've amassed, but like I'm kind of like, oh, I need some of this, I need some of that. And I've even gone so far as to like reserve my slot so I could like go and pick it up. But I think I just like grocery shopping. But I like going in the store.
The kid who's picking out your stuff is just, grabbing whatever, avocados are sitting there. They're not like checking the avocados to make sure they're just the right amount of ripeness. They're not doing that.
Exactly. That's my point. Like if I go in, I'm going to say, I don't want it rock hard, but I don't want it super ripe. It needs to be in the middle. Like I'm thinking about when do I want to use the avocado? Is it 2 days from now? How hard should it be? Like this is the level of crazy that I'm at in the store. And I know that the ShopRite clerk is not doing all of that. They're not squeezing my avocados.
No way. I'm sure they would love to squeeze your avocados, Robin.
Well, you know what? It may happen. You know what I mean? Like this is 2020. We're in COVID. Who knows what's going to pop off when I go to the grocery store? I may just say, fine. What else are we doing at this point? But yeah, no. I need my avocado squeezed, guys. And there's nobody squeezing. No, I don't. I really don't like slide in my DMs. I do not. But no, like you want to pick out your groceries in a certain way,
I hate grocery shopping though.
Really?
I hate it.
I love it. But I think it's because I just like food. It's greed. I like food. Like I like to see what there is, and I'm like, ooh, there's lamb chops on sale. I'm gonna get lamb. Like I go and I peruse.
Well, you cook. I don't cook.
You cook salmon?
Yeah, but that's nothing fancy.
I don't know.
I'm not like looking at all the roasts going, ooh, oh, what I could do with that. I'm going to buy that.
I mean, I am.
When I ever do that, it just sits in the freezer forever.
Well, I mean, if things were to go bad, right? Like if you have to be in the house again, then you know that you'll never starve. That's the way I look at it. Like I have so much crap in my freezer that I know that I will never starve in this house ever.
Well, I remember one time we were supposed to get a terrible storm a couple years ago, and my boyfriend Russ and I, we eat out a lot or just get, stuff that's super easy at home. Like I'll make a salad. We'll make him a sandwich. I know it sounds boring, but this one occasion we had like nothing in the house and I felt like the worst person ever. And I don't want to like go into gender roles because I was feeling bad that I, as the lady of the house, did not go out and stock up the refrigerator. But yes, he could have done it too. He didn't.
But did he feel bad? Like, did he also feel bad that he was like, oh, like crap, I could have gone to the store?
Not really. I mean, what I think happened is the couple that live next door to us, they're big on cooking. They love to cook and they always have a ton of food in their house. And they were telling us about all this great food they're making. We're in for the snowstorm. We're going to make, ribs or whatever. I don't know what they were making. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, maybe I could make a tuna sandwich. Like I would be really lucky if I could make him a tuna sandwich. And I was feeling so bad. Thank God they invited us over for dinner.
Oh, that was really nice of them.
Yeah, that worked out.
But you know what's funny with all of these like snowstorms and things like that? Like I've had the same thing where like a big storm is about to happen, or even like now with the whole COVID thing, when everyone's running out to the store and buying all this food. And I think that what's interesting is we kind of act like we live in the middle of freaking nowhere. Like, even if there's a huge snowstorm, what are you going to be in the house for? Maybe 24 hours, maybe that you actually like can't leave your house. Like you're not going to be stranded. This isn't Antarctica. Like you're not going to be stranded in the house for days, but we all run out. We buy what my mom calls the French toast ingredients. Like we all have to get our bread, milk, and eggs.
I know. I was just about to say that the milk, bread, and eggs. I don't know what it is about those ingredients.
Yeah, it's the French toast. You just want to be able to make French. And mind you, I will go and buy milk, bread, and eggs. I don't eat bread and I don't drink milk. So why am I buying them? Cookie dough.
Cookie dough. She raises a good point.
Yes.
I says we should also add cookie dough to that list.
I have cookie dough in my refrigerator last night. And I'm not going to lie to you. In my stress eating, I did just eat raw cookie dough yesterday.
I think there's nothing wrong with that. Did you buy the ones where you slice it, or it's like a cylinder, or the one where it's actually like they're put in little nuggets for you already?
I prefer the cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
I like to spoon them out myself. I like to pick the size of my cookie. I also don't want, any sort of commitment to your little predestined like cookie square because I like to eat the dough. So I want to have the ability to like spoon a cookie, eat a cookie. Like I want this ability. But what I have is actually like the pre-sliced ones because that's just all they had. So I took a whole like square of cookie and ate it.
I've done that. I've done that. It's so good.
They have, Jane Ann's a cookie dough eater too. Did you know Jane Ann?
She is.
Did you know? I saw this at my local Target that they actually have like a tub of dough for eating. Like the purpose is that like we know you're just going to eat the damn dough. So you can either bake it or you can eat it. I guess because they're saying there's no raw egg in it. I don't even know.
Oh yeah. That's the
cylinder thing.
That there's egg in it. Oh my God. Do you know what I used to eat raw? You're going to die. When I was a little kid, when my mom was making meatloaf, I would steal a wad of the meat.
Oh, wait, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I swear to God.
So So basically, you were on the cutting edge of steak tartare.
I
Basically,
it was steak tartare. That it was
that's
low grade
all.
steak tartare. I had a sophisticated palate. We just didn't
Even
know it.
even then. Oh my god. Well, I mean, I'll do like cake batter, and I know that has raw egg in it, but we eat raw egg all the time. Like you eat Caesar salad, like Caesar dressing has raw egg. You eat, hollandaise is raw egg. We eat raw egg all the time. Yes.
Huh, that's interesting. Well, isn't Caesar dressing, it has the yolk in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And anchovies.
Yeah, I mean, there was this place called Mentos. I don't know if it's still there in New Brunswick. They made the most amazing Caesar dressing I've ever had in my entire life. I don't know how you remember a taste. It's so weird, but I can remember it, the taste. I think actually what happened is they changed owners and it wasn't as good after that.
So I watched this movie. It's one of my favorite movies with Judy Garland, The Easter Parade. And there's a scene in the Easter Parade where the waiter is like describing the salad, like the Caesar salad. He's like, we do this, and we like how he's making the Caesar dressing. I don't know why this stuck out in my head, but it sounded like it was so delicious. They didn't order the salad, but whatever. It sounded so delicious. But no, I feel like we always default at some point on this show to talking about our weird eating habits.
We do.
But no,
in common, Robin. Did you notice on that promo we did for when about aging, when we both gave our baby pictures, we had practically the same outfit on.
I know. But that's because we were clearly fabulous even then. And we said we need to go with like a dusty rose corduroy look.
Yes.
Of course we did. Of course we had to go with that look.
My mom even noticed it before I said anything.
Well, when I even picked out my photo, I don't think I noticed that we had the same outfit. I was just trying to find like a portrait school photo where we were about the same age.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what I was looking for. And then when you posted it, I said, we're kind of dressed like twins.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've noticed, and this is really the epitome of shit talking because we're just all over the place. So I got my lashes done today. Can you tell?
Yeah,
I don't know, like the people who are listening, I'm like putting my face right up to the camera, but I went and got lash extensions. So I just got them done, which is why I have like no makeup on my eyes because I have to let them marinate. But I don't know if they're marinating, maybe affixing. I don't know what they're doing.
Is that what they tell you?
Well, you're not supposed to like wash your face for at least 12 hours. So like when I go to bed tonight, I can't wash my face. I'm going to like use a makeup wipe, but you're not supposed to get them wet for like 12 hours.
I thought you weren't supposed to get them wet ever.
It's funny you say that. She actually said to me, I went to our studio lash spa in Westfield and she was lovely. She said to me that people try to avoid getting lash extensions wet, but you're really not supposed to avoid getting them wet. Like you're supposed to get water on them. She said lashes love water. Like you need to get the dirt out. You need to get the oil out. You need to get like all of that stuff out of the lash. So you shouldn't just avoid water, Well,
I think when I used to do it, they would always tell me not to put my face directly under the shower. Or,
that's what I was told
jump into a pool.
That's what I was told too.
That was why I stopped doing it because it was just such a pain. Like it's the greatest feeling when you get into the shower and you just feel let the water, like just go over you, like you're the top of your head and your face.
But I love not. And it's so weird because I know it's actually high maintenance to go get lash extensions, but I feel like it makes my process so much more low maintenance. Like in the morning, it's easier to get ready. I don't have to put on as much eye makeup. If I need to like run out of the house and I don't have any makeup on, I still don't feel like I look nuts,
Yeah. Well, I don't think that the lashes that they can do that way with the extensions are really a dramatic difference. What I found worked was Latisse. I bought Latisse, and if anybody doesn't know what
I
that
know
is.
exactly what that is. Yeah.
Okay, so for people who don't know what that is, it's that treatment that you can put on your lashes to help them grow. And it really works. You have to get it from a doctor's office. And I found that was just as good as at least for me, as the lash extensions.
So, do you have thick lashes anyway?
Not really. But
I don't
they did
either.
get thicker and longer. It helped them grow.
She said that my lashes are very thin and that I should eat more protein. And I wanted to be like, lady, I eat so much. Like
Protein.
Yeah, I guess like that helps. Like maybe like I don't know. Like before this show, I just had steak literally before we came onto this show. So I have plenty of protein. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But these are the things like I was doing with my day to avoid election drama.
Well, I won't lie. I actually had CNN live stream up on my computer all day.
You did? And
I don't usually do that. I usually don't care, but I don't know. I told you, it's like watching a reality show to see who's going to win.
But it's all just like maps and stuff. Like, it's just like, oh, this state is doing this and this state is doing that. And this state is like, it's not even like people talk. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not watching the coverage that I'm not like getting it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not getting the excitement of it, but I'm just kind of like, they don't know anything. Why am I watching if they don't know anything?
Yeah, it's kind of like every time there's going to be a hurricane, all the news programs are outside like, it's raining, it's windy. It's like, okay, great. You know,
thank you for that.
How long are you going to report on this? There's nothing else to say. And then they go up to people, hi, how are you? How are you enjoying the weather?
And they're like, this is horrible. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my house. Well, how does that make you feel that you're going to lose your house? Like, yeah, I feel crappy about that.
I would be like pretty shitty.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. How do you think I feel?
How'd you get this job?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or maybe that's why you're running around out here in bad weather, not on an intern desk.
Exactly. In thigh-high boots. Maybe that's how you got this job, as opposed to being in like, you know, shout out to all the weather people. We love you. We appreciate you. But like you're like out here in like a windstorm, like holding on to the pole, trying not to get blown away. And you're asking people like, how do you feel about the fact that you just lost your house? Like, and like you said, I think it's appropriate. I feel pretty shitty about it. Like, I don't feel good. It's crappy.
I love too when somebody dies in the neighborhood. Well, I don't love when someone dies, but when I'm
glad you don't.
When the news people go out like, oh, you know, your mom just died in a terrible crossfire. How do you feel? Really? You have to ask that question.
You know, I would love for them to get that one person that was like, you know, I never really liked my mom much anyway, so I kind of think it's a blessing. Like,
yeah, well, she had a lot of life insurance, so let's go shopping.
Like what does that even mean? I don't know. I mean, I think the media is such an interesting animal. You know what I mean? Like, I know that they have to get ratings. I know that they have to get like, you know, what do they sell? Like the blood cells or the gore cells, something like that.
Cord blood or
I don't know. They were talking about the fact like that the gorier the news story, like the more it's gonna sell.
Whatever bleeds leads, or if
leads
or something like that.
Whatever bleeds leads. But I was reading I don't think I was reading anything. I'm not gonna lie. I think I was watching a show, but it sounds much more educated if I say I was reading something. But I heard something about Canada, and they were talking about their media coverage of just like everything, and how they really don't cover the amount of like crime and violence and all of those things, and how that actually has an impact not only on, you know, the mental health of the Canadian people because they're not constantly living in fear, but actually impacts the crime rates as well. Like, I think because people don't realize crime is being committed, they just don't. If that makes any sense, like psychologically. So, I mean, maybe people are looking at the news and they're going, well, if everybody else is out robbing, I'm going to go rob too. I don't know, but
everyone else is doing it.
Right, but they're saying it actually impacts, obviously I could see how it would impact mental health, because if you're constantly hearing about, this house burned down, there was a shooting, that, like, I just look at the local news every day and it's never positive. It's always like someone was robbed, someone, there was a shooting, there was a fire, especially during, holiday season with all the Christmas trees and crap. Guys, please water your damn Christmas trees if you're going to get a real tree. But anyway, but with all the Christmas trees and stuff, there's like all these, and like every morning I would wake up to like, there's a house fire in this place, there's a house fire in this place. Like, it's a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, do you ever watch the Today Show in the morning? You probably don't, because you're going off to work and I'm like,
I only watch the Today Show. In fact, I actually took the cable out of my bedroom because my TV stays on channel 4 all day, every day. Like, to the point that I said, why is there even a box up here?
Pretty much mine too. But so I think it was today. I was watching the Today Show. I just had it on for background noise. I was listening to what they were talking about the election, but they would pepper it with other things. It probably was a different day, because I think really all they talked about today was the election. But I heard this little snippet of what was to come, and it was Eddie Vedder. He secretly helped Bradley Cooper prep for his whatever that famous song was that he did with Lady Gaga. He's going to tell us all about it. And I'm thinking, that is so stupid. Like, are you kidding me? I'm sorry I'm being a hater, but I was like, really? That's what they're going to talk about? It must be a slow news day.
I mean, but just think about it, though. It probably was a slow news day, to be fair. And just think about being like a television producer and you're just scrambling. Like, guys, there's nothing to talk about. Like, we need to fill this hour block or this 2-hour block with stuff, and there's literally nothing to talk about.
Well, I love around the holidays though, when it's like 100 gift ideas under $10. Look at this beautiful bottle of Fiji water. See how beautiful and clear it is.
No, that is, yeah. Or like, here's an adapter for your iPhone. Why do you have an iPhone user in your life? Why don't you buy them an adapter for their iPhone? Like, it does get pretty ridiculous, but I like it better than hard-hitting news. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like the fluff. I like that they're in talking about like their Monday, like, week-long meals or whatever it is. That's really what I want to listen to in the morning. Like, I don't want to listen to nothing but doom and gloom,
Yeah, it's so true. Well, okay. So, but I like the Today Show, but every once in a while it does get like a little too fluffy for me. And I just sit there scratching my head like, is this really what people want to see? Like, I don't even know if it's the producers. It's not that the producers can't come up with content. I think they're really careful. They know their audience. They know who's watching at different times, and they are catering to them. So I always think that it's a reflection of the audience, what they're showing.
Did you ever watch, I think it's on Apple TV, The Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston? Okay, so I loved it too. I didn't finish watching it. Like, I'm you know what? I'm like that. I will start a series and then like I just abandon the series. You know what I mean? Like, I'll start watching something, I'll really like it. I was the same way with Handmaid's Tale. Like, I was all into like the first season of it, and then I just kind of got bored with it. I was like, oh, okay.
I watched this last one. It's so dark. I just don't want to watch something that's so dark and depressing every single episode.
Well, everybody who told me about it, they said that it was very dark and that you could really only watch like a couple, like you can't really binge it. Like, you could watch a couple episodes at a time and then you were done. But one of my problems is that I need to binge. Like, for me to get through something, I need to say, like, I have nothing to do on this Saturday. And from the moment I wake up to when I go to bed, I'm just going to watch the show, or else I'm going to abandon it. Like, I know I will. Like, I'll get to a point where it'll be weeks and weeks that pass. And I go like, wasn't I watching that show? And whatever happened to that? Like, I was into it, but
there's some stuff that I'll just drop off. I'll be like, this is not interesting enough for me to binge it 3 seasons.
Right. But well, before I got off on my tangent of my binge watching behaviors, the morning show, I think they were kind of alluding to the fact in that show that there's just like certain types of shows and certain types of topics that sell on a morning show, like that you want on a morning show. So
fluffy, like they don't do hard news in the morning generally.
No, like
really big.
Right. Like I think Reese Witherspoon's character was kind of like, we want to break this story. And they were like, no, sweetie, like this is the morning show. Like we're not breaking this, on the morning show. So I do think they do want to keep it fluffy. They know that people are starting their day. They're on their way to work. I don't think that they want people to be, in this state of depression, but I don't know. It does it for me. Like I kind of am just into like the cooking stuff and the gift ideas and like, and they had these like deals of things that they like show. They're like, oh, these sheets that were $130, they're now $25. And I always say I'm going to go on and buy them, and I never do. But like,
I did buy something one time on there. I forget the lady's name with the long blonde hair.
Yeah, I see her face. I don't know her name.
The one who always goes on and is it Jill? Jill's Deals and Steals or something like
Steals and Deals, right? Something Steals and Deals. I don't know.
One time she had a really awesome dress on, and I messaged her on Facebook or Twitter somewhere and asked her where she got it, like what she was wearing.
Yeah,
I'm saying that like, oh, Valley girl. And she told me, she wrote back and she told me it was Veronica Beard and the dress was like $500. I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe not today. Okay, maybe not a steal or a deal.
Right. That's neither a steal nor a deal, Jill.
What she was wearing was not a steal or a deal. But I will tell you that dress did go on sale, heavily discounted. And I did buy that dress, which I have never worn, but it's a beautiful
Oh my God. You know what? Just look. If 2020 has taught us anything, wear the freaking dress. Like, I don't care if you're wearing it to maybe just meet me for a cocktail. Actually, wear the damn dress.
I think I have worn it a couple of times. I think I have.
Okay. I feel better.
Maybe I'll wear it next time for next Wednesday.
Yes. Yes. You know what? Next Wednesday, this is what we're going to promise both of you. We're both going to raid our closets and pick out the one thing that still has a tag on it that we've never worn. And I'm going to wear it next Wednesday. I don't know what it is yet.
Yes.
But next Wednesday, I'm wearing it. I don't care what it is.
Yes.
So you guys can be ready for that.
Everybody wears something that still has the tag on it. And don't tell me you don't have anything that has a tag on it.
We all have something that still has the tag on it. That is for sure. So all in all, Christina, like, how are you feeling today? Are you like, because we both said we didn't know how we were going to feel today. So how do you feel today? Like, how are you?
I feel good today. I like when there's something exciting going on. This is exciting. Yeah. Like, whoo, there is a reason to watch the news.
I feel like, even though I knew it would be this way, I feel like it was very anticlimactic. Like, everybody was like going into this, like, we're going to have this big election and all this stuff is going to happen. And everybody's waking up with, anxiety and I'm hoping that when this is all said and done, this will be one less thing that we, I can't even say as Americans, because it's really the whole world, that we can be anxious about. Like, we have enough crap to be anxious about right now. So I'm hoping that the anxiety subsides. But I think everybody woke up with this, like, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a Trump supporter, but if he wins, I always say, look, we can only be stuck with him another 4 years. So, but there are people that they'll just lose their minds. Or if Biden wins, there's people that will just really let it destroy them.
I'm not going to say that I would lose my mind, but I do say that there is a level of disappointment because of what I connect Trump support with. And that's just where I am. Like I said, like, I know that we didn't want to turn this into any kind of political debate or go into any of that, but that's just my view on it. That's how I feel about it. So I definitely have a connection to, the things that Trump believes in and the things that he supports and the things that he condones, and that is completely antithetical to who I am as a person. So I don't know that I don't know how I'd feel about 4 more years. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a lot has happened in the first 4, and I don't know what kind of damage can be said in the next 4 or can be done in the next 4. And that terrifies me, that people have become so emboldened. And I think you and I talked about this, not even because of Trump, or maybe it is because of Trump, I don't know, but that people are so emboldened to do shit they wouldn't have done before, or say things they wouldn't have said before, or act out in ways they wouldn't have before. And I kind of feel like if we had 4 more years, how much more emboldened can people be? You know what I mean? Like, how much, more disrespectful will people be, or rude will people be, or will people think it's okay to bully because that's what they're seeing? How much more of that can we take? And I think that that's why, I can't say I'm going to wake up and not go to work and not do what I need to do. And obviously I'll do those things, but I think that I have a huge level of disappointment with the fact that people think this behavior is okay. I just do.
Oh, I totally agree with you there. But if Trump wins, there's nothing that we can do about it, right? Like,
no,
there's just nothing that we can do. I mean, Trump's already saying, I think he actually did file a lawsuit.
Well, he will. And I'm sure that look, I kind of think that no matter which way it goes, because it's so close, we're going to have recounts, we're going to have lawsuits, I think, and that doesn't matter, in my opinion, who the declared winner is. I think because it's this close, people are going to say, wait a minute, like, let's really take a close look at this. So I don't think that we're going to be out of the election woods anytime soon. I just,
Yeah. I haven't heard Biden say that he was going to sue or ask for a recount. Have you?
No, but I do know that he said something about having like his team of lawyers ready. I don't know if that was to defend against a lawsuit.
Okay.
I don't know. And like I said, I really haven't been watching a lot of coverage, so I can't really say definitively, and I don't want to misspeak in any way about what was said. So I don't know if it was just more him saying like, look, if there's a lawsuit, I'll defend it, or of him saying, if I don't win, I'm going to, to file a lawsuit. I don't really know. But I think whatever happens, there's going to be a lot of fallout and a lot of time before this is actually done,
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have said this, and I completely agree with it. I had this feeling myself that I think there were a lot of people that had certain views, but they kept them to themselves because it wasn't politically correct to voice them. And then Trump came along and sort of made it okay to show your racism or, sexism or what have you. And so now people have been emboldened.
Yep.
Because our president is this way. And I think a lot of people think, well, he can do it. He's the president. Look at him. He's cool. He's like us. He curses and, makes fun of disabled people. So
I think that's what, maybe not the making fun of disabled people, but I think that that's what a lot of his supporters like about him, is that they're like, look, he says what he wants to say, and he doesn't hold punches, and he's not like the usual political talking head where he says, the diplomatic thing. He just says whatever he's thinking. And I think a lot of people like that. But at the same time, we as polite society, we have to understand you can't always say what you're thinking. I can't say what I'm thinking all the time. Like, you just can't. And maybe people want to live in this world where everybody can go around saying what they're thinking, but why? Like, I always think about when I'm going to say something, like, and I always get these sayings messed up, and I'm sure that you'll probably say it correctly when I tell you what I'm trying to say. But they always say, like, when you're going to say something, like, you have to think like, is it true? Is it kind? Is it helpful? Or some crap like that. But like, I do think about that. Like, so if I'm going to say something, is there a point to me saying this? Is this going to help anybody? Is it kind to say this to somebody? Is what I'm saying true? Like, I give all of this thought before I just come out with word vomit. And I don't think And I think people now just think, well, if I think something, I should just be able to say it. Well, no, you shouldn't. We're not animals. Like, no, you shouldn't. Sometimes think about what you say and then say it.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what people teach their kids, right? How to be polite. We teach them that, right? How to be kind, how to respect others. Well, at least I hope most people are doing that.
I think most people are,
I
but
think we are. But if you had a little baby Donald Trump at your table acting the way he does, you would
tell him
upside the head, right?
you would tell him to cut the shit.
Yeah,
you would. You'd be like, stop it. Like, you can't say that. You can't do that. You can't behave that way.
Yeah,
but
let's no.
Here we are. So I think that we're hearing on the comments, and I would like some clarification, that Jane Ann said until November 13th. So what happens November 13th? Like, is that when everything is supposed to be
when is that?
decided? I don't know. Like, I'm just
next
kind of
Next Friday. Yeah. I had heard next Tuesday. I guess now she's hearing next Friday.
I mean, I was kind of prepared to ride this out until January.
Well, you kind of have to know by January, right?
Yeah, I mean, I figured by inauguration time we would know who wins. I don't know, but
well, you know what? It's funny how everyone's joking about 2020, all these memes about 2020. And I said to somebody the other day, I can't remember who it was, what if it doesn't stop? What if it continues on into 2021?
Well, yeah, there was this meme that came out that was kind of like, 2021 is looking at 2020 like, like, here, hold my beer, like, watch this. Like, we don't need a hold my beer moment. Like, 2021 needs to just come in, sit down, and just be good. Like, that's it. I don't need any shenanigans out of 2021.
It's funny though, but whoever you support, if the other one wins, you'll be like, oh, it's 2020.
I know. Well, that's the good thing. No matter what bad happens in life at this point, we can just blame it on 2020. Like, I burned down I burned the dinner, 2020, like, typical of 2020. Like, whatever it is, I think we just need to write this year off in a way of being an interesting year. I don't know that I'm writing it off, because I feel like I learned a lot in 2020. Maybe that's another episode that we'll talk about the things that we've learned, but I feel like I've learned a lot, and I got a lot out of this year. And it taught me some really important things that I don't know would have happened if we weren't going through all of this crap,
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Do you want to give a few examples?
Why not? I learned about the importance, or maybe not learned, but I think that I was really confronted with the importance of family. When we got to the point of the very beginning of this, when, like, I couldn't go see my parents, or I couldn't give them a hug, like, all of the things that you kind of take for granted, you realized you were taking them for granted, and you're kind of like, wow, it sucks that I just can't swing by my parents' house and go for a visit. And then thinking about them being in, the group of people that were at high risk and all of that, you start to think about that. Like, all of those times that I could have gone to visit that I didn't, you know what I mean? Yeah. And now I can't.
Yeah.
You start thinking about things like that. I think it was really a time for you to kind of sit down and look at your priorities and what's important to you. Because it was a very scary time, especially when we knew so little about this virus or what it was going to do. Like, you don't know if you're going to lose people. You don't know, like, what's going to happen. And you kind of sat down, and I know at least I took stock of the things that I thought were super important. Maybe were not as important. I think the last example I got was, as we all know, because we advertised it to the hilt, that I had a birthday recently, and it was a big birthday. I turned 40, and I know I love to travel. And what I wanted to do for my 40th birthday was not be in this country. Like, I wanted to plan a trip. I intended to go to Phuket. I like to call it fuck it.
Yeah.
That's where I planned to be.
Oh, that's so nice. I would love to go there.
I know, but, like, I was so bummed that I couldn't. Like, I felt like this sucks. I can't believe that this pandemic, like, is ruining everything, and it's not what I wanted to do. And I was kind of being like a big baby about it. But when I saw like the way that my friends and my family and and people just rallied to make that such a special time for me, and they planned a surprise party for me. I'm very hard to surprise, by the way.
I know. I saw that. And I have to talk to the organizer because I wasn't invited. Although I think I was away that weekend.
I don't think you were here. And it's actually very funny because when I asked about you and I was like, well, she's not here anyway. And I was like, okay, well, she's away. And she's like, oh, I don't know that I told her. And I was like, there were actually a lot of people that had bones to pick with her. And I said, well, you need to talk to the organizer. That
she
was
can
not
just
me.
send me an invitation just so that I have it.
Right. But with all of that happening, I go like, this was so much better than being in a foreign country by myself. I was surrounded by people who, took so much effort to make sure I had an awesome birthday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask you, who was the lady in the picture? Did your mother also wear red shoes? Like, did you look like twins?
No, she didn't wear red shoes.
There was somebody else in when you were coming into the room, and just so you guys know what we're talking about, there was a photograph of her being surprised coming into her party.
Woo! Yeah.
And what did you have on? You had bright red pumps on. And
they were actually fuchsia. They were bright pink.
Oh, they looked red in the picture.
Yes.
But somebody else had like almost an identical outfit on. But
It
I
was
can always see the back of her.
Well, no, it was one of my sorority sisters was also wearing like red pumps and I think maybe black pants. Maybe that's who you saw.
Oh, okay. I thought that was funny. You had the same outfit on.
No, my mother was not wearing heels. My mother's heel days are over. She's made that very clear. Like she's not doing it. She's wearing her flats and she's happy. But I mean, that was a big lesson for me. Kind of like, wow, this is really cool. And this is much better than what I would have wanted. So sometimes what you think you want is not really what you want.
Wow, that could be a whole hour conversation.
Oh, geez, I know. What we think we want versus what we really want.
Well, there's a coach that I love who always says that, well, he asks you, are you, whatever your goals are they what you really want, or are they what you just think that you can have?
I mean, I think that's a good question. Or sometimes the question may be, or is it what you think you want or what you think you should want? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think that sometimes we're told what we're supposed to want or what we're supposed to want to be. And maybe that's not really what we want. We just think it's what's expected.
Well, don't you, when you're counseling your divorce clients, don't you often hear someone say, I'll ask them like, well, what is it that you want, in terms of settlement? Oh, well, he'll never agree to that, or she'll never agree to that. I'm like, okay, just forget about that.
Right. That wasn't the question. Right.
Yeah, that wasn't. Let's pretend you're going to get everything you want. What is that?
Right.
And
I think I ask that in every initial meeting. I always say, so in the perfect world, if you got everything you wanted, what would that look like?
Yeah.
And it is very interesting when you have those people that really can't answer that question, or they're so focused on what other people will or will not do that they can't even think about what they want in a perfect world.
I think there's a lot of that going around. It's not just the divorce clients too. I think there's so many people that don't know what they want, but I think if they really focused in on that and, meditated or something, it doesn't have to be meditation, but, really spend some time thinking about that. I think we all know deep down really what we want. Just have to let it come to the top.
Ooh, that was deep. Like, how are you going to get all deep at the end of the damn show? Like, now I'm sitting here like, what do I want out of life? I don't know. We're going to have to come back to this. We're going to have to figure out like
time to end because you need to go think about it.
And I need to finish this glass of wine. Maybe that will help. Maybe that's what I want. What I want is to finish this glass of wine.
Yeah. Jen Gore says the rules of the game have shifted.
Ooh.
Yeah. What does that mean, Jen?
I know. I'm like, shifted how? What are the rules? Somebody tell me what the damn rules are. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think the rules of the game have shifted in a lot of ways.
She knows who the coach is. I have to say it if my friend Lauren is on here. I love you, Jen. So the coach that says that I love, that I'm obsessed with, is David Nagel. And if my friend Lauren is watching this, she's laughing right now because I mention him constantly. I'll be like, well, David Nagel says, Derek Bailey, stop it with the butt plugs. Okay.
Oh,
I'm telling you right now, don't make me come over there.
I know. She's
Okay.
serious.
Anywho, so I always mention David Nagel, and my friends, so her response now is always, "Who's David Nagel?" I talk about him constantly, but I know Jen, you've had some experience with David Nagel, and he always says that.
I've listened to some of his podcasts.
Oh, you have?
I have. Like, I've gotten into it. Like he's on the podcast list. Sometimes when I go for a walk, he's on there. So,
it's hard to keep up with his podcast because he posts one every single day.
He has so many. Like I think that in a way it's kind of good, but it's also bad because I go through and I'm kind of like, what do I want to listen to? Because there's just so many that you're like, what do I want to pick to listen to right now? But that's good.
I think those kinds of things, like what we talked about is, what do you really want, and getting all zen and deep. David does that all the time. That's just his influence. That's what he does. And I like that he actually posts a podcast every day, because I think you need to have that incoming influence every day. You really do. So if you think, what do I really want in my life? And you really dig deep to know what that is. And then you have to start working on that. That's not something you can just do once in a while.
Oh, no, that has to be, daily work that you're going to have to put into attaining that goal. Like if you say, this is what I want, I do think that you have to every day work towards it.
Yeah. So I think that it's important to have that David Nagel influence, or whoever, you listen to. I think it's important to have that influence like every day. Yeah. So that's why I think the podcast comes in handy, because he is posting it every single day.
Which also means that apparently he just does not sleep. So I don't know.
He's got a whole team of people.
That is true. You know what? Maybe when we get a whole team of people, we'll do a podcast today too. We'll just come on every day and we'll just talk shit daily. I know I have shit to talk about every day.
We're going to get discovered and we're going to have our own show and we're going to be on every day.
And then we'll just have time to say, you know what? We're just going to sit around and just talk.
But probably whatever network we're on, they're probably not going to use our name.
Well, you know what? We're going to work on that. We're going to work on We'll work on the rebranding of the name for network, appropriateness, I suppose.
But it can't be something in the morning.
No, definitely not.
We're not talking about buy this Fiji water as a gift for under $2. We're not doing that. Actually, I loved Chelsea Handler when she was on E. Did you watch it?
I did. But that was like a long time ago that she was on E.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it wasn't recently.
But I want to do that. That's what we'll talk. We got to be on the same page. But I would want to be on E or something like that.
I think that was so E. If you're, I'm sure somebody from E is watching or listening right now, because why would you not be? So if you're watching or listening, Christina and I are open to being on your network.
We're available.
We are. Have your people call our people. Our people are us.
Just gonna say that, Robin. Those exact words.
Right. Right. But our people are just us. Like, you just call us. That's fine. Those are our people. We're our own people.
All right. So what are we going to talk about next week, or do we want to just surprise everybody?
Oh, it's going to be a surprise.
Okay.
Wait for the promo to hear what we're going to talk about next week. And we have some really interesting things in the works. COVID ruined a huge plan that we had, but we're going to make it happen next year, guys.
Yeah.
Wait for that show.
Oh God, they got to wait a whole year for that?
Well, you know what? Tell this freaking pandemic to let up, and then we can go and live our best lives, because right now we're not living our best lives because we're stuck here doing nothing. So somebody make that happen. If you want to hear the best that Shit Talking Podcast has to offer, find a vaccine and a cure.
We're going to spice things up. We're going to spice things up. Well, thank you everybody for listening or watching. Send
Whatever
people
you're
our
doing.
way. Tell everyone how great we are so that we can have more viewers. Thank you
Yes.
for watching, Jen, Derek. Who else is on here? You know what? Do you remember Romper Room at the end when she would have that mirror?
Yes.
Roll around and she'd be like, I see Robin and Christina. That's what I'm doing.
I remember that I thought that I was on Romper Room as a kid, but I realized I think it was just a dream because I asked my parents, I go, was I on Romper Room? And they're like, no, you weren't on Romper Room. But I think I just had a dream that I was on Romper Room. So in my mind, I was on Romper Room and she did see Robin in the mirror.
We have to find some. I know. What made me think about that? We have to do that. We got to get the Romper Room mirror and be like, I see Derek. I see Jen. I see Lauren. I see Jane.
Yes. Yes.
They probably think we've lost our minds.
And maybe
you guys,
perhaps we have.
Hopefully you guys know what we're talking about. All right. Well, thank you again for watching. Your comments, we love it, except for you, Derek, with that thing about the
you sir are on timeout. I'm gonna call him after this and go, you are on timeout, sir. You are on timeout. Okay. But everybody have a great week. And I hope that everybody is low anxiety and we're all going towards our place of Zen. And if you're not, then drink more wine.
Yes. All right. Well, we will see you back here next Wednesday at 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night.
Bye.